Should be live though. Good evening everyone and welcome along to FRL. We are here for F1 2021 action. It is Season 5 F3 action as we take in the Spanish Grand Prix for pre-season race 2 at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. My name is James A, going to be taking through the stream. The last voice you'd be expecting to hear, I'm sure, on a Monday night for an F3 race, but I'm here replacing Jensen and Mads, who cannot make it here tonight. And joining me in the commentary box, it is Mr. Macho. Macho, how you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing pretty fine. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Excited for what beholds us here tonight in Spain.
Yeah, I think it will be a very exciting race. We're still waiting for people though, but that doesn't matter. We'll just talk about it. Yeah, really fast grid. And yeah, a lot of guys. I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be a really good attendance, I think. I think your mic might be need fixing again. Coming through all distorted, I think, on Macho's end there, but I think that's been sorted out now. 14 drivers currently within the lobby. If you haven't accepted an invite from either myself or from Macho, please join in, just like Michelle Van Dongen has just joined into the lobby. And of course, we are here for F3 action here tonight for Season 5, of course. Pre-season race 2, of course, we were in Bahrain last week, and just reflecting on Bahrain, Macho, a very, very good race, but with a lot of DNFs.
Yeah, it was actually very clean racing, but some of the guys were just a bit scruffy. But it's pre-season, you know, they all need to get into their rhythm. And yeah, I think we will get a very clean race today.
Yeah, it is pre-season, and you've got to imagine as well that these guys are still very early on into this game cycle, and that's what I normally talk about in these streams that I do. It is always very early in the game cycle, and these guys are still getting used to the game. But they should be used to the game by now, you would imagine, and at a track like Spain, they really need to be on the ball, because the infamous Turn 9, I've done a couple of time trial laps around here, and Turn 9 is an absolute bugger as it comes to the outside curb. Really spins you. If you've got an unstable setup going through there, you're in the wall.
Exactly, they need to be on their toes, because the damage is on for this race, but the safety car, we have turned the safety car off just for this pre-season race. Because we want to see some real racing.
Yeah, and it's good to get, I think, as well, the overall pace and the overall cleanliness of the drivers as well. I think that's something that's really important going forward in all divisions that we've got here, of course, in FRL. I'm normally sticking with FRL F1. Of course, you'll have me tomorrow night for that commentary alongside URL Nick, who's going to be joining me for that. But 17 drivers now in the lobby. We're not too far away from actually beginning. Looking ahead to the action though here tonight, Macho, around the Spanish circuit, of course, and the Spanish circuit entails, and I'm just trying to get up my track map, 4.6 kilometres, 2.8 mile, and the 16 turns, in fact, that are waiting the drivers out on track. 2 DRS zones, plenty of overtaking can happen.
Exactly. And yeah, well, like you said, it's a short circuit. I think all these drivers will drive with a lot of well, not like really straight line speed. They will all take a very comfy setup for the last sector especially. And overtaking will still be good though, because the main straight is actually very long. People underestimate it.
Yeah, it's the longest run down to turn 1, I think, on the F1 calendar. It's something like 500-metre run down in towards turn 1. And what drivers don't realise that it's actually a downhill slope down in towards turn 1. So you've got to be hard on the brakes just after that 100-metre board, and you don't want to end up collecting anyone as the race actually progresses. And hopefully with 33 laps in front of the drivers, we're not going to see that, and we're not going to see the skittle action that we saw on Sunday, of course, in the Hungarian Grand Prix in real life.
Yeah, I hope there won't be any bowling this evening, but I don't think so, as there are 17 people and they are all readying up, but I think there are some people joining mid-qualifying. Yeah, so I think we can just ready up. Matt isn't here, but maybe he's Mr. Race. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see, actually. Ayrton Senna has put a lovely comment in the Discord, by the way, and I'll get to your comment as well in the chat in just a second. He's put a lovely comment in. I think James has to be one of the best commentators here, if not the best. And Lewis came in esports quality. Macho, you should feel absolutely blessed that you're alongside me here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't want to say like Thijs is a bad commentator. Of course, he's very good as well. But I am alongside some top class here.
Top class, yeah, FRL F1, and presumably the lead commentator in FRL, and indeed, of course, I commentate on League of Europe and TTML, and the likes, but of course we are here for FRL, and we're here in Spain, of course. As I alluded to, 4.6 kilometres, 2.8 mile, defending this track, and the layout is so much different to the one in real life, because there's no turn 10 reprofiling in this game. There won't be as the F1 2021 game cycle goes along, so these guys have got to be on the ball on the old layout.
Yeah, I think it will provide some more overtaking though, because into turn 10 it's a really hard braking zone now. In a new circuit, it's a bit slower braking because you need to take more speed into the corner. So you won't hear me complain. But let's just dive into qualifying, or I'm already here.
Yeah, I'm already in as well, but I think nobody has left the pit lane just yet. I can see a little bit of action maybe from Scar's pit garage. I can look further down the pit lane, but nobody is leaving the pit lane just yet. I'd imagine that we've got that 1 minute glitch that we normally have in qualifying. So where you see it's 17 minutes, in fact, the session's probably just beginning for the drivers out on track. And that's a common glitch. I've had it in F1 2020 as well. But we've just got to get used to it. There's still glitches in the game. There was a recent patch. But that's Codemasters for you. Simple as that.
Exactly. And I think we will see some cars out now. But let's do some quick predictions. As I will say that... well, really hard. Really competitive grid. But Ballboy will take this pole position, with Cassidy as the second one and Rackler as third.
Interesting. So you're going to go for the 3-time FRL champion for pole position. That's a big, big ask, I think, certainly from Ballboy's perspective. He was in FRL F1 last season. Let's not forget that. So in theory, he should be quicker than these guys.
Yeah, but don't forget that like Jacko was in F1 as well. They made some downgrades, but they still have the pace, and they found more pace on this game as well. But yeah, some of the guys, I can't even think about their pace because I don't know them personally.
We have got a black screen, apparently, is what I've seen from Charlie in Discord. We've got a black screen. Charlie, may not remove your application. What am I trying to say? Come out of your application, close down the application, restart it back up, and it might just see cars onto the grid. I think everyone might be experiencing the same thing. That's why we're seeing no drivers out on track just yet. So, it might be that, well, there's other drivers reporting as well. Biolo apparently is the one that is not loading, and we're waiting for him. So, if Biolo leaves, everyone should then come out on track. So, Biolo, if you're listening, do what I've just said.
Yeah,
I was just about to say, and we don't get a restart.
Are we getting the restart, or?
I'm saying we might... if Biolo doesn't leave, then we'll have to restart it. That's the thing.
Well, if he doesn't hear us, we can wait a long time. But yeah, well, no problem. I don't think the drivers or like the time is going down for them. So we'll just have an 18-minute qualifying still.
It is quite weird because I've got all the telemetry up on everything, and everyone is literally just stuck in the pit lane. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen, but of course if we've got a black screen, if the drivers are experiencing a black screen, then Biolo has got to leave, and then all of the rest of the guys, 16 other drivers within this lobby, will then not get black screened, and then we'll surely get straight into qualifying, unless it kicks us out the game and then we have to restart the lobby. I can see, actually, Arno, there's pit movement in his box, so I think we better get cars out on track.
Exactly, Scar is moving as well, as the first cars are finally going out of their pit lane, as I think Arno is the first one out.
Ono is indeed the first one out, of course. He is in Max Verstappen's car, if I'm not mistaken, in the Red Bull. And he is now leaving the pit lane with what I assume is 14 minutes left to go in qualifying. And finally, we've got cars out on track. Probably one of the longest delays to qualifying you may ever see this season. But Ono is the first man out on track. And the Belgian has had good experience, of course. Back in the past, when I used to commentate here, of course, in FRL. He was in FRL F3 when I joined. There's Robin, by the way, out on track as well. But Ono was one of the quick guys when I joined. I'm not sure if his pace has actually got better, if it's got worse. It's interesting to see, because back in the olden days, and we're going really old time here, Ono was a very quick driver. All of these guys I used to commentate on, or the majority of them I used to commentate on as well. So, be interesting to see how everyone has progressed.
Oh, that's actually a long time ago. I wasn't even in FRL back in the days. He qualified in P7 in Bahrain. So keep him in your mind.
Yeah, you'd imagine, I think, if he's qualified P7 in Bahrain, then he should be qualifying quite high up, probably around the mid-pack, I would think, in Spain. And we should be expecting lap times maybe around the 116, 117 mark, I think, for F3. We should be going quicker, I think, if, of course, it was F1. But we'll run on board with Ono. He comes around the final corner through New Holland, which is the final corner, through turn 16, now across the line on this long 1 kilometre straight down in towards Somon. Yellow flags in sector 3, don't worry about that whatsoever, just drivers preparing up for their lap. Ono down in towards Somon, breaks at the 50 metre board, gets the car turned in nicely through turns 1 and 2, and then now coming through the flat right-hander, 180 degree right-hander of turn 3, takes a thin line running through there, saves the ground in towards the first sector split, and it's 21.4 through the first sector from Ono. Coming through turn 4, and then down in towards Repsol at turn number 5, and then in towards Seat at turn number 6. This is why we don't say the corner names, they're literally just sponsors of the track. Ono though in towards the fearsome turn 7 and 8. Catch the curb here, you might end up spinning. Beautifully done though by Ono. This is the tricky corner, this is turn 9, and if he goes out wide here, which he hasn't done, he would end up spinning the car obviously, but Ono doesn't do that, and it's a 49.7 through the middle sector from the Red Bull man with 11 minutes and 45 seconds to go in qualifying. We've already got a spinner, I think, out on track. That might be Robin, if I'm not mistaken, in the Haas, who was spun coming out of turn 8, but Ono now on a lap. He's got Biolo just ahead of him. Biolo really needs to get out of the way, and there's front wing damage, and unfortunately Biolo's connection, that was pure desync. He gets a 5-place grid penalty, and Ono has lost his front wing. And I've got to be honest and say this, Biolo, with a connection like that, you shouldn't really be here.
There were a lot of spinners out on track already, as Robin Gravers is the first one across the line now, I think. It's Reckler actually, with a 16.3. That's a decent lap, and Arno has just crashed into the pit wall.
That's so unfortunate. I think he is going to be absolutely mad and fuming, I think, at Biolo for being in front of him. Biolo also got hit, by the way. There was pure desync, I think, between them both, and that is why Arno is at the session this early on, and it's not great to see in F3, especially as the safety car's obviously turned off within the race, and it's not great from our perspective as commentators to view that. But Ruckler on the top spot at the minute. Ruben is second. Jacko, however, just goes into second in the Alpine. Alpine, of course, took the win in Hungary with Esteban Ocon at the weekend. Ruckler, though, 0.05 of a second ahead of Jacko, and it's quite competitive, actually. The top 4 separated by just over a tenth.
Already a very competitive grid. Well, there were only 10 drivers to finish a lap, and a lot of drivers just to set a banker lap or 25 seconds of the pace, as we will go on board with a Haas driver. It's Robin Gravers who is the first one to cross the line again.
I've just rolled on board with Matey Boy, and he's just had a spin at turn 3. Sorry to cut in there, but Matey Boy just had a spin at turn 3, and Robin just started up a lap, I believe. He's coming across the line. Goes quickest, 1:16.3.
Just done his lap. 16.3 is a decent lap for the F3 drivers, I think. I suspect the pole lap to be into the high 15s.
Yeah, high 15s. I said 1:16, so we're there at that mark already. And Robin, coming out on top, back to second, Jacko in third, but less than a tenth of a second, hitting the top 3 at the minute. Jacko, by the way, invalid on this lap, but he's 2.5 tenths up. If it wasn't an invalid lap, he's going to come back into the pit lane, but he should have been going quicker than Robin than Rackler at this stage. What we imagine is 9 minutes to go in qualifying. Robin leads the way, Rackler second, Jacko in third. Matey Boy on a lap after that spin. 58.8 in the middle sector. Really not a great middle sector, but he will try and get that lap in. Oliver came in as well with the 140.7 and Michel van Dongen with the 145.9. As soon as I say that though, Oliver puts himself up into sixth with the 116.6. So 0.3 second off Robin with halfway of qualifying gone.
As I think there's another Haas up front. He's going into the pit lane as Scar is the first one. He's on an outlap. So the Alpha Tauri of Charlie is he on a lap? No, he isn't. Who's the next one?
I think it's Michael F1, if I'm not mistaken. Michael's on a lap. He's coming through turn number 9. Very unstable coming through turn 9. Gets the car turned in nicely to 50.3, so it's there or thereabouts is what we've seen in terms of the top times. And Michael will be hoping to try and get on towards this top spot. Through turn 11, through turn 12, of course, reprofiled to 15 corners in real life, not the 16 you're seeing here tonight. Through turn 13, in towards 14 and 15, with 8 minutes to go and qualify. Michael on a very good lap here. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually goes top with this as he comes around the final corner. Michael F1 to the line, goes top, 116.2.
What a great lap. That was a very good last sector though, as he did some nice corners, but I think you can cut like the last corner. You can take a lot of curb on the inside, but he didn't do that, so definitely improvement in there. As Scar is on a lap now, and let's see the middle sector split.
Oh, he's 5/10 up on Michael's F1, on Michael F1's second sector split. So surely, he nearly actually loses it coming through turn 11 and 12. Very unstable setup coming through there, but Scott is on an absolute blinding lap. Do not be surprised if you see a 1:15 with this lap. Sky is on an absolute grotty lap here. Comes around the final corner. He's running toward the line. What's the lap time going to be? It's a 1:15.9.
A 59, so that just proves, like, Michael F1, I think he won 1 or 2 tenths in the last sector. That proves that he has a very good one, but we did see a mistake from Scar going with wide, having understeer or oversteer in turn. I can't tell you, as Gijs just retired in the last sector. As who is that? Just gets past him. It's the Alpine. I can't keep up.
Yeah, Ballboy passed him. We saw that just on my camera angle, certainly. He spun coming through turn 13. The exit of turn 13 is where Gies had spun, and unfortunately I'm not the Dutch commentator as Macho is, so pronunciations are going to be off with his name. Ballboy was around that section. We saw him off to the right-hand side. Ballboy actually 4/10 up through the first sector.
So he is braking now for, I can't tell you the turns, but that doesn't matter. Braking here, pretty damn nice, keeping it close to the apex, going up the hill. This is a very hard section. Hopefully he doesn't invalidate, which he doesn't. He takes it carefully. Going up the hill, not flat out, a little lift from him, so there's time for improvement. Let's see the middle sector split. It's gonna be a 50.0. He's 1.3 seconds up. He is going to get into the top 3, I suppose.
Yeah,
into
I think
the last section. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think he might get second actually with this lap. If he nails these final couple of corners in the Alpine, he should be there or thereabouts. But look at his deployment. That top bar on the ERS, that's how much deployment he's got. He's only got 2 bars left, now down to 1, and he deploys the rest of the ERS to the line. It's a 15.9. Good lap by Ballboy, goes second.
What a last sector he had, man. He won like like a half a second only in the last sector on his previous time. As we are seeing Van Dungen now, 20.5 seconds up. He is going to the line. Let's see the time. Opening of the DRS.
Ooh. It's 9.
16.5. Very competitive though. Look at the from 3rd to 10th position. It's only 3.5 tenths.
Jacko just pops himself up to 3rd as well, 116.2 from the other Alpine. A little bit of lag going on with his end, but Skarsgård on top, Ballboy 2nd, Jacko in 3rd. I'm really intrigued to see what Michael F1, I should say, not Michel van Dongen, Michael F1 should do. 116.2. Now, we know he's got the pace. 116.2, in theory, on a second lap around here, he should be 4/10 up. So he should be ahead of Scar with a 15.8 as Rackler goes 3rd with a 16 flat.
Yeah, he is struggling though in this game. I spoke to him and he deactivated the racing line, so he just needs to put in some more practice. But I think a 16.2 is a very good lap for him because he didn't do very much better in the practice. As the next one across the line is Ruben, coming across the final corner. He invalidated.
Yeah, Ruben's invalid, comes across the line, 1:16.4, his current best, but the Belgian will be hoping for a very good lap time out on track. Charlie, I believe, is the one I'm going to focus on, certainly. He's going to be up in the middle sector. He's 5 tenths up. Now, there's been rumours that Charlie might move up to F2, and if that's the case, he's not going to be my co-commentator for F1 on a Tuesday night, but Charlie taking a very wide out line, I've got to say, coming through turn 12, through turn 13, and now on the run down the hill through 14, 15, and in towards 16. This should be a big improvement. From a set of mediums onto a set of softs, he should improve around 6 tenths, I think, on this lap. Charlie comes across the line, and it's 5.5 tenth improvement, and he goes 8th.
There's room for improvement in the last sector because he did his first run on the medium tires and he didn't gain a single tenth in the last sector. I didn't see a big mistake or something, but yeah, surely room for improvement.
Yeah, Oliver moves up to 7th as well, so the other AlphaTauri goes quicker than his teammate by 1.5 tenths. He goes into 7th with a 1:16.2. JB is on a lap as well, as Robin moves up into 4th with a 1:16.1. Good lap there by Robin, and Scarrad on top still. Bullboy 2nd, Rackler in 3rd. What I imagine is still 2.5 minutes to go in qualifying. JB invalidated actually on the exit of turn 9, so he's not on a valid lap, and Matey Boy is spun coming through turn 8.
Yeah, really tricky corner there. You want to take a lot of speed, but if you take such a lot of speed, you can obviously spin on the exit because you have a lot of oversteer. As he hopefully doesn't impede the driver. And who is that? It's Oliver, and he is nicely out of the way. As Oliver is 1.5 tenths up.
He's
in the middle
1.5 tenths.
sector split.
1.5 tenths down, I think, in the middle sector split, if I'm not mistaken, coming through. And yeah, he's on a very consistent lap. Compared to his 1:16.2 that he set, he can get a tenth of a second, probably out of these final couple of corners alone. He runs wide, coming through 14, then through 15, and then into the pit lanes. That's absolutely typical. Oliver is in pits. Scar's still out on top. Bullboy 2nd, Rackler in 3rd. 2 minutes to go. But I don't think it is 2 minutes to go. I think we've got about at least 3 minutes, 4 minutes maybe to go in qualifying after the black screen glitch that we had.
Yeah, I think so as well. The timer started like on 13 minutes, so we were set there 5 minutes without any cars on track. So they have a lot of time left, as Cassidy is on a lap now. He's still down in P17, so I think he didn't do a single valid lap time.
I don't think I've even seen him out on track, to be honest. I might have been mistaken, but Cassidy is now coming through turn 2 and then through turn 3, and we'll see how the sectors compare actually to the top guys, to Scar, to Ballboy, and to the lights, to 21.5, so he's there for thereabouts in the first sector. So now comes out through turn 4 and then in towards the downhill section of turn number 5, braking very late indeed. Nice turning in there by Cassidy, and he looks committed on this lap. Comes through the kink of 6 and then in towards the Fearson's combination of 7 and 8. Catch the curb there, you might end up spinning like we saw with Matey Boy. Cassidy though coming through turn number 9. I have a feeling this is quite a quick lap from Cassidy, coming through the middle sector, and it's a 49.9 middle sector. I believe he's a 10th off Scar in the middle sector.
Very committed through the uphill part, as he is in the 3rd sector now. This is a very tricky part. The chicane, you can cut a lot of time, you can gain a lot of time actually, but you don't want to take the curves. That's very nice. As he goes onto the final straight, opening up the DRS, quickest. And it is quickest.
15.7. Wow.
And if that is his banker, that is really nice. His Scar is the next one, but he hasn't validated. I think he will go for a push lap now. No, he won't.
Jacko's on a good lap coming through the end of the middle sector split. We'll see what his middle sector split is, and that's a 49.9 through the middle sector as well for Jacko. He's behind the Aston Martins. One of them's on a lap. I think it's Edzak that might be on a lap, and he's actually the one coming through. Yeah, he's not on a lap, actually, not improving, but Jacko is. He's now coming through turn 13 in the Alpine, gets caught on the curb, and that might just cost him. That might just degrade away the speed, and I think it has. Now Jacko comes around the final corner to come across the line. I think he'll barely improve it to 16 flat, actually, and he moves up to 5th. So we actually found a little bit more time in that final sector. He goes 5th. Rackler not on a lap in the Williams, just ahead of him, but 33 hundredths of a second, separating him and Jacko out on track with, I would imagine, still about 3 minutes to go.
Reckler is the next one to cross the line, but I think he will go on a push-up night right now, so we can ride on board with him, I think. Going down to turn 1, braking at the little path there in the left-hand side, as he does that, very nice. You can take a lot of curb on the inside though, but it will unstable the car. Ooh, taking a lot of grass there, that's not ideal. I think he will back out, because he's 2 tenths up. He's still... Oh, Jacko.
Jacko is coming through turn 9. That is coming through turn 9. I think Ball Boy's actually coming through there on an outlap. And there he is. Where's Jacko? On the right-hand side? Ooh. Yeah, he's crashed into the right-hand side wall, hasn't he? And that is an unstable setup, and that is him at the session and can no longer improve above 5th.
As Reckler just pinned it into the wall as well, out, like, coming off turn, I think it's turn 7, and he spins again. Oh, that's not very good. Oh, as he's right on the track there. Luckily, FRL, Oliver and Charlie didn't have any, well, how do you want to say it? Didn't get impeded by him. That's the right thing. As Charlie's on a lap, and he's only 10 thousandths up.
He is, he's 100th down, coming through the middle sector as he now comes through in towards the final couple of corners. Ruben, by the way, is 1,000th off him in terms of his lap time out on track, but Charlie coming through the final corner. Cassidy's still away in the pit lane, he might feel like he's done enough. Charlie across the line at 16.1, he goes 8. That's a better improvement from Charlie. Don't have a clue how much is left in terms of qualifying. It's Cassidy out on top, scoring second. Biolo with what they could be described as a very shoddy connection, similar to Relentless Nathan and FRL F1, he goes third with a 15.9.
Yeah, well, maybe Biolo is the brother of Nathan, who knows?
Wouldn't put us past us at all.
Reckler has spun again. He isn't in his best rhythm we have ever seen from him.
Oh, and he's been disqualified.
For going the wrong way, as JB is on a lap coming. Ooh, that's not very good. Onto the line, and it's a 3.5 tenths improvement. But look at the grid; it's so close that he just found 3.5 tenths, and he only gained 1 place.
Top 13 are separated by, get this, less than 7.5 tenths of a second, and this is F3. Not F1, this is F3. Robin, I believe, has just gone second, the 15.8. He's still on a lap time. We have got Raikkonen, Bottas and Giovinazzi still to set a lap time, by the way, down in my bottom left-hand corner. And Oliver's now coming through the final corner as well. He comes through turn 16. We've had a DNF out on track as well. Scar has actually DNF'd out on track, and Oliver goes quickest! I wasn't expecting that! Oliver goes quickest by 9 thousandths of a second! Where'd he come that from? That lap time from? Goodness me!
He's on professional pole by 9 thousandths of a second, but I still think... No, Cassidy
nobody's improving.
It's Michael F1. He isn't improving. JB isn't improving. And all of the guys have crashed out. And I think that's pole position for him.
It is. That's pretty much the end of qualifying. We saw the Haas. I think that was Geese coming through. Robin, I should say, coming through the middle sector there. But Oliver, out on top, a 1:15.7, has stolen it right at the death in qualifying. Cassidy is second, Robin is third. How on earth can you leave it that late in qualifying, even as late as 0.01 seconds remaining in qualifying? And Oliver has snatched it by 9 thousandths of a second, and to top that, first down to 13th, separated by 7 tenths of a second.
Wow, what a qualifying that was, actually. And yeah, well, you can't predict such close gaps in the top 3. 1 tenth only separated the 3 of them.
Unbelievable. This is F3. I remind you, this is not FRL F1 if you are just tuning in now and expecting to hear my voice. It's not Tuesday, it's Monday, and it is FRL F3 here tonight. Myself and Macho taking through the action, and we'll take you through the grid order as it stands. And it is Oliver out on top with a very characteristic pose, I think I've got to be honest. Oliver's out on top, Cassidy in second, Robin in third. That's your top three. 10th of a second, as I say, separating those three guys. Scar in fourth. Biola will jump down to 10th because of his penalty. Ballboy, Edzak, Jacko, Ruben and Charlie will move ahead of him. So they'll be 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. Biola will be 10th because of a 5-place grid penalty for that collision with, I think it was, I can't remember, it was somebody.
Arno. It was Arno.
Yeah, it was Arno. Michael F1 in 11th, JB in 12th, Michelle Van Dongen in 13th, Gies in 14th, Mateyboy 15th, Arno no time set, and Rackler disqualified from the session. And he had a very good lap time in as well, so actually it would have been top 14, separated by less than 7/10 of a second. But he's been disqualified and starts back from the back of the field. And I believe as well, because of that, he gets a free choice of tyre.
Yeah, well, I don't think you want to start P17 instead of P4, only for the free tire choice though, because the track position on this track is very important.
Yeah, congratulations as well to Oliver from JB, which is really good to see. Good to see the drivers showing a lot of respect, of course, in FRL, and that's what we like to see across all of our divisions, of course, here. Jensen also saying there should be 2.5 minutes extra in qualifying. That's what there was. There's 20 seconds to go in terms of us getting started here for the formation lap. And those predictions in qualifying could not have gone any worse. So, with that being said, what's the predictions for the race?
I think we should be safe and just say the top three will stay the same.
Top three will stay the same. I like it. I think I might go, as the grid order will now come up to your left-hand side. I am going to make a very wild prediction here and say that Michael F1 is going to win. I have a feeling he's letting on something that we haven't seen. I think he's got more pace than what he's actually shown. He's down in 11th. But watch out for him, because he's going to be starting on that set of soft compound tyre in 11th position. Scar's been disqualified from the session. He hasn't moved, I don't think, off the grid, which is concerning. But I'm going Michael F1 for the win. I'm going to go Ballboy for second. And I'm going to go even worse. I'm going to go Jacko for third.
He's going for a very bold strategy. As Michael F1 is definitely on the charts, because he went on the soft tyres. And I think that is a definite 2-stop.
Yeah, it will be a definite 2-stop, I think. And Michael, obviously with the tyre wear, you've got to factor in the tyre wear around this track. And it's crucial that these guys get as best start as possible around here. Am I lagging, by the way, or is it just Michael's connection?
I'll just go on board with him. And I don't think it's you, it's his connection, actually.
It's his connection?
Yeah.
Good.
That's not good. Yeah, but maybe it's because he's behind Bolo and he had some lag as well, but I don't think so. He is very all over the place.
Which is concerning, and he's got Biolo ahead of him, so it looks like we're getting two... Well, I can only describe as two aliens out on track. Good old Into the Barrier will be watching, I think, this. But Oliver's out on top, Cassidy second, Robin in third. Coming into the end of qualifying. What we'll get into, though, was the tyre strategy around here. You say 2-stop. I definitely think it's a 2-stop around here. It's softs, mediums, I would imagine, the strategy that these guys are going to be on. However, you can make a 1-stop go around here. If you get to around lap 17 on that set of mediums, go set of hards lap 33. 16 laps on a set of hards should be quite easy. Michael has left the session. Hopefully we'll see him back. Scar, by the way, saying his clutch won't engage any gears. So that's going to be concerning. Watch out for him off the start if he doesn't get going.
I will send an invite to Michael F1 so just that he can rejoin. But yeah, I think with the mediums you can definitely go onto the hard tires and then make it to the end. But with the soft tires, medium is faster in my opinion. As we go to 5 red lights.
We've got a glitched light sequence, I've got glitched telemetry, and we're about to get underway here in Spain. Let's let you know where we go. Scar has started, and it's a shocking start from Oliver, and he's already being jumped by Cassidy, by Robin, and off the start line as well. Michael F1, I don't think has started, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's taking control of his car. Down and towards someone we go. Robin down to second, but it's Cassidy who leads. It's Oliver in second. There's cars cutting across, coming through turn 3. Jacko now going 3 wide, nearly with Scar, and Scar's on his inside line. It's Biolo, actually, that has made 2 positions. Biolo down the inside line, and the Williams gets the move done. He's up into 5th already. Great move that. Coming through the exit of turn 3, through turn 4, there's a spinner, and that's Scar. Scar has spun. In the background, there's front wing damage as well. I think that might have been from Edzak, if I'm not mistaken, as well. The Aston Martin really getting rough and tumble with right side end plate damage, or certainly left side maybe for Jacko. One of the two. I saw some front wing damage anyways. It's Cassidy, though, who leads. Robin second, Oliver in third. 1.5 laps, well, a half a lap in, and Cassidy leads, and he's done at Hamilton in Hungary.
Cassidy had a flying start. He's already 1.5 seconds clear, as Scar had, I think, the worst start of his career. Down in P16 and already has deployed all of his ERS. Maybe he has some problems in the car.
Biolo's just made contact with Oliver, coming out of turn 13 now through 14, and Biolo's had to cut across the sleeping policeman now on the inside curb. And look at Jacko's run. Jacko and the other Alpine on the back of the Williams are going to try and get the run onto Biolo. Biolo's going to then try and get the run onto the back of Oliver, but I don't think it's going to be quite close enough. And we're on to lap 2, where it's Cassidy who leads, Robin in second, Oliver in third, Biolo in fourth, Jacko in fifth. How's Michel Van Dongen up into sixth, by the way? He's on a set of mediums, but he's already up into sixth, and in fact, all of the medium runners, apart from Bullboy and Ruben, who have picked up damage, into the pit lane they two go, they've all gained positions.
Well, he is the highest medium runner now, so if he can just keep it on the track, that will be good for him. As Jacko and Bolo Bolo and Oliver are still fighting, as Oliver is losing touch to Robin Gravers though now. Going up the hill, if he can keep it close through this corner, which is really hard with the dirty air, he can maybe go for an overtake into turn 10, I think.
I don't think he will. I think he's going to wait for the DRS maybe next time around. Certainly these guys won't get DRS until we go through turn 9 of lap 3. So that's where the DRS, and actually he might not even get DRS because he spun coming through turn number 11 and 12, and that was on board with that, and actually Jacko forced him off track. Not sure if there was a bit of a desync between them both, but Jacko forced him off into the gravel. That might be looked at by the stewards, and it's Cassidy who still leads, Robin in second, Oliver in third. Getting a bit of rough and tumble here in Spain, but a massive DRS train now. Jacko has got behind him, Biolo, Van Dongen, Rackler and Gies, by the way, side by side, running down the straight, and the two Dutchmen nearly make contact down the straight. We don't want to see a collision like that, like we saw in Brands Hatch on Saturday. But Rackler down the inside line tries to get the move done, and he does, and he's through, and he's into 8th position. Ball on the brakes, but it's brilliant, and the Williams is through.
Wow, nice move. He is instantly on the back of Edsex, who is, well, not having the best race of his career. Oh, Scar DNF'd in the pit lane, I think that is. Okay,
he's retired into the pits. And Rackler's trying to go down the inside of Edzak. He's got one. He tries to get another. The Latvian of Edzak just in front of him, but Rackler in 8th position. Charlie, by the way, is on the back of Arno, and you would imagine Michael has got the pace on that set of softs, remember, from earlier on. Biolo, though, on the back of Jacko, goes to the outside line, in towards turn number 10, tries to get the move done. That's a shocking camera angle from Biolo. Switches to the inside line, though, and that is brilliant. And the Williams is through, and he's into 4th position. Looking further down the field, though, Rackler still couldn't get the move done on Edzak, but Cassidy still leads. Robin in second. Maybe that advantage from Cassidy. Does he have the pace to try and fend off Robin, or has he just overused those tyres a little bit too much? It's 1.3 seconds now. The gap as Jacko is in, presumably either for change of tyres or he's got damage.
They are very equal pace, but what a move from Bolo. We just have to look back at this if we could, but we couldn't. But that doesn't matter. What a switchback, though. As Cassidy and Robin, I think they have equal pace, because they just set a lap time like almost equal. But let's have a look at the two Aston Martin drivers. Look at Rackler.
I'll tell you what! Gies tries to go around the outside of Rackler, in fact, and this is 7th and 8th, and Rackler knee sprints in front, and Gies now to the inside line, should get the move done, and has got the move done. Arno tries to fend through as well. It's getting a little bit aggressive for my liking, if I've got to be honest. The drivers have got to improve their racecraft. Arno down the inside line, though. Nothing about racecraft there, and he's through. But is he? Because there's Rackler back on the inside line, gets cut up onto the grass, and Arno's through, and he's into 8th.
Oh, and have a look at Charlie. He's going for the move instantly now as he is...
no!
That's not good.
Rackler moved across in the braking zone there. I've got to be honest with that. Rackler moved across on the braking line. Charlie was on the inside line. But then again, Charlie may have went into the back of Gies, I think it was, or Arno, one of the two, and they've come into contact. Rackler has came off worst of it, but I think he deserved that, essentially. He's down in 11th, and that's because now Charlie's up to 9th, trying to get the move done on him. Arno, however, trying to get the move done on Gies. Gies moves across, and remember, in F1, you can make 2 moves, one to defend the position and one to attack the position. And Van Dongen and Edzak, by the way, are going side by side just in front of them as well. And Arno and Gies is back up the inside line. Great move by the Haas. He is through, and he's into 7th. Oh no! Has spun.
Oh, a lot of action happening as Michael F1 passed Arno on the straight as well. Or, he passed Charlie, sorry. That's my mistake. As Rackler is past Charlie as well. But apart from that, Robin has already picked up a penalty, and the gap is still the same, but that's not great for Robin.
Yeah, 3-second penalty, I think that is for Robin. Let's just have a look at that. Yeah, 3 seconds for him, 3 seconds for Michael. Both of those penalties picked up, I think, for corner cutting on track. Probably coming through turn number 9, one would suspect. It's Cassidy, though, out on top, Robin in 2nd, and Oliver in 3rd. All of the front 4, I think, have got very similar pace. You've just seen something?
Yeah, it's Gies. He made a big moment of oversteer, and he touched the grass, and now he is he has another big moment of oversteer, as he is instantly under attack from Michael F1. And I think Michael F1 is running a very low downforce setup because he is passing people all left, right,
no!
And
that just speaks for itself. That just speaks for itself, I think. And
yeah,
Edzak and Van Dongen are battling up ahead, so let's go back to the action. Edzak and Van Dongen, 5th and 6th position, are battling, both the Aston Martins, and they're 4/10 of a second away from each other. For that, I've got to say, very, very questionable.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we can always look back at it and let's have the steward's decision on that. But Van Dongen being overtaken by Edzak on the soft tires, he's keeping on pretty nicely.
He is indeed. Biolo will try and attack the back of Oliver as well. He's doing a good job in 4th, and he's got the pace to try and get past Oliver here as well. Van Dongen in behind. Rackler's on the back of Gies, and I would say Rackler has got to be now on the air of caution. He's probably just seen it. In fact, Gies has gone into AI mode. So I'm not sure why he's gone into AI mode coming through a right-handed corner and into the final sector. Rackler's going to just send it down the inside line. And Gies is in AI mode. Oliver, however, into the pit lane, probably because of the tyres going off. And Oliver is in. So one would suspect that this is going to be mediums and mediums.
Yeah, you can do 15 laps on the mediums. Then they will have a really big drop off. But I think he will maybe do the undercut on Robin and Cassidy because he was only 3 seconds behind.
He is, and I think per lap it's about a second and a half in that region. I think the undercut around here in Spain. But Oliver has came out in traffic. There's Jacko just ahead of him, so Oliver has came out in a bit of traffic. But if he can negotiate Jacko within this lap, I think he's got a really good chance maybe on for the race win. Edzak and Van Dongen still having a battle for 4th and 5th position. Lap 7 out of 33. It's Cassidy who leads, Robin in 2nd, Biolo in 3rd, Van Dongen in 4th, Edzak in 5th, Rackler, Gies, Charlie, Arno and Jacko your top 10. Oliver, Matey Boy, Ruben, Ballboy and JB, I should say. Dan and your back 5 drivers at the from 11th down to 15th. Edzak still attacking, and a 3-second time penalty being picked up by Arno. Oh no!
Let's see if Cassidy is going to react on the pit stop. Yes, he will, as Cassidy comes in and Robin stays out for one more lap.
So does Biolo. Biolo stays out, and I wouldn't be surprised if Edzak actually stays out here as well. These guys, yeah, I have a feeling they may be pitting a little bit too early if they want to try and get the tyres to the end. But Cassidy, this is the big one. Oliver is coming out of turn 13, 14 and 15 now. Cassidy is about to exit the pit lane. Remember, the Ferrari garage is further down the pit lane compared to the old game. He's going to be miles ahead. Cassidy is going to be absolutely in clear air. He's behind Arno, and that's exactly what he wanted. Jacko, Oliver could not get past him that lap because he's just too far behind him, and Jacko was in 9th, Oliver in 10th, and Jacko actually pitted very early. I thought he came into the pit lane to repair damage. He didn't. And he's in a net 2nd.
Yeah, well, I think he can stretch those tires to another set of medium tires and definitely get to the end. So that's another big problem, as Michel Van Dongen picked up his first penalty for multiple warnings exceeding track limits. And one thing that I saw was Ballboy down in P14, and I can't remember what happened to him.
He had damage first lap with Ruben, I believe it was. Both of them picked up damage. And Bulbo's down in 14th position, Ruben in 12th at the minute. Arno has just been overtaken by Cassidy, so Cassidy's through and he's into 7th. That makes his job a lot easier. Robin is into the pit lane. Biolo stays out. Biolo stays out, but Robin is into the pit lane and is going to try and cut off the back of Cassidy. Cassidy is coming through 14 and 15, and Robin is just about to enter his pit box. I think Robin's behind Oliver here, if I've got to be honest.
Let's see, Haas obviously has a very late pit box because they are at the back of the pit. He is coming out of the pit lane and it will be very close as Oliver.
There's Jacko.
Will be behind.
That's Jacko side by side with him coming out the pit lane, and Jacko gets them right away in the corner. The overspeed is too much and the Alpine is up into 2nd position. Well, net 2nd position out on track. Robin is a net 3rd, but Robin has got 4 lap fresher tyres compared to Jacko. I have a feeling they're on a bit of a split strategy here. Robin's going to go for a set of mediums towards the end. I wouldn't be surprised if Jacko pits early and goes for a set of hards as Arno and Oliver have a fight, and Arno has just been outgunned around the outside by Oliver. Great move on the brakes, he's through and he's into 8th.
Ooh, painfully to get overtaken around the outside as a driver. But let's see if Bolo pits now, as I think he can maybe go onto the hard and stretch it to the end. But let's see what he does. And he stays out for another lap, so that's already 9 laps on the soft tires. As Van Dungen, of course, stays out on the medium tires. So I think he will drop behind those guys, but I think he will go to the hards.
Yeah, Biolo 4.7 seconds ahead. He's got pace over Van Dongen at this stage, but it's just a matter of time of when those tyres are actually going to go off the cliff for him. He's currently got fresher tyres compared to Van Dongen. Robin closing in on Jacko, running down the straight. Jacko is a sitting duck down in towards Servon. He may as well weave, but he may as well not because Robin's on the outside line. It's questionable from Jacko moving across and weaving like Alonso style in Hungary in a couple of weeks ago, actually in Silverstone. But Jacko's still in 6th, Robin in 7th. Robin has got ultimate pace over Jacko. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a turn 9, turn 10 move here. As is spinning through turn 3, it's Ruben.
Ruben just spun as I saw that Cassidy already has a 3-second gap over Jacko, as Oliver is falling behind now on these medium tires. He's 5 seconds behind Ruben.
He is. He's 5 seconds behind Robin, but he's negotiated Edzak, and Edzak is on a fresh set of mediums in behind. So that is going to get quite close, I think, between them both. Van Dongen has spun, coming through the end of the middle sector through turn 12, that was. Edzak and Oliver are having a fight down in towards turn number 10. And Edzak, so late on the brakes, and what a move that is around the outside. The Aston Martin has just outgot old pole sitter. Edzak around the outside gets the move done, and that was the cleanest move you may ever see all night.
Bolo is into the pits though for a set of medium tires, so
behind Jacko.
Yeah, he will definitely be behind all those guys. Let's look at Robin. He is behind Robin, but not that much actually. I thought he went.
Sorry, Robin's just got the move done on Jacko. Down in towards Sermon, gets the move done, he's into 5th.
As Jacko runs wide because of all the dirty air, and he's weaving a bit, it seems like. But yeah, it was a clean move on the straight. As Bolo
look at Biolo.
Braking.
Switch
going
back.
For this. No, there's no
Wait for the DRS. Wait for the DRS, I would say. And Biolo, just warning, Jacko's there. And Biolo is literally right underneath his rear wing, and it's so close to contact. But Biolo has got ultimate pace over Jacko. Surely he's going to try and use this up to good effect. He's also got ERS to defend as well. Now down the inside line, he goes, and he's nearly into the back of Robin. Gets the move done, does he? Jacko's still on the outside line. Jacko has a snap of oversteer, I think. I'm not sure if it was Biolo maybe going into him or Jacko having his own mistake. But Biolo is through, and he's into 6th. I think that must have been his own mistake, because Jacko has nearly gone for a half spin coming out through turn 13.
As he has a lot of pace and is now on the back of Robin, as he has the DRS and no, he doesn't have the more overtake than Robin, but Robin is using, Bolo is using as well, but he's closing not enough.
Not enough, and you've got to be within 3-4 tenths of a second, really, coming out of that final corner here in Spain. Biolo has got to be within that time range. But look at him, actually. Is he going to get the move done earning towards turn number 4? He's looking to the inside line. Not now looking on the outside line. Robin having a really good fight here. Of course, Robin, I believe, is a reserve. If I'm not mistaken, Biolo certainly showing why he should be in a full-time seat as well. These two battling very hard. But remember, these guys have got to make 2 moves. One to defend the position and one to take the racing line into the corner. That's what Robin's got to do. In the meantime, I think Geese has maybe just spun behind Cassidy. So Geese has just spun into 4th position. Now he goes, and here comes Biolo on the back of Robin. Looks to the inside line. Tries to get the move done. I think he has got the move done. Has he overshot on the brakes, however? Yeah, Robin's then on the inside line. Robin on the curb, and they're still side by side, coming through turn 11, through turn 12. This is going to be very, very bold stuff from one of them, and it's Robin who gets the move done. But look at Jacko. Jacko now involved, and Robin, I've got to say, Biolo, although he might have caused an incident with Arno and qualified, that was really good racecraft, and he's into the wall and he's out. Commentator's curse.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a commentator's curse, but we have to say that was very clean racing from both of them. So if they don't have a full-time seat, I think we should award them.
And Robin's just gone around the outside of Geese. Sorry to cut in.
And look at Jacko. Jacko is going around the outside as well as he's
got
past
damage.
The Haas driver.
Yeah, right side end plate damage for Geese, so that's why he's been overtaken quite hard out on track. Robin 4th, Jacko in 5th. Well, that have been a safety car, by the way. Safety car is off here in FRL F3's social pre-season race, I should say, here tonight. Would that have been a safety car deployed?
I think that would definitely be a safety car because he was standing there very dangerous, upcoming on the straight. As I jump on board with Oliver, wasn't he up higher on the grid?
He was. You're right. What has happened there to Oliver? Has he been involved in a collision? Has he had a spin? He's down in 13th. 20.7 seconds behind JB. He's on a set of mediums. I can only assume he's had a spin somewhere right on track. But he did come into the pit lane, remember?
He's already done 2 pit stops, and it seems like his car is like undrivable. Maybe he has side pod or rear wing damage, actually.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. See what happens to Oliver. I'm just trying to flick through the stream. He was behind Robin at one stage. And then, oh yeah, he came into the pit lane lap 11. So 3 laps ago, he came into the pit lane. And what I assume was damage, maybe involved in his battle with Edzak, possibly. And now, speaking of Edzak, he's right on the back of Geese.
Oh, watch out, Edzak. Geese is pretty clean, actually. I mean, Haas has to get him in, you know. He has damage. He's driving on old medium tires, and he's losing so much ground to the guys up front.
Charlie bit me, apparently, in the comments section. Charlie might bite on the back of Geese, though. In 8th position, he's a second behind. I like how I seamlessly went into that, by the way. Charlie's on the back of Geese coming through turn number 9 and in towards turn 10. I don't think he's close enough, though, onto the back of Geese, and Geese is going to stay in 7th position. Charlie in 8th, and Charlie, hopefully, going to get a bite of the finger of Geese just in front of him.
Let's stay on board, though, because Geese with the front wing damage... Oh, that was a nice move.
Job done.
If he stays, yes, he stays. He's in front now. I think he needs to come inside. And he does, actually. Great for him. I think he will just go to the hard tires and drive to the end.
He may as well. 18 laps on a set of hards. 18 laps on a set of mediums could work as well, to be honest, if he's got good tyre wear among him. But he should be there. Matey Boy is spun. Coming out of turn 14 and 15. He is into the pit lane. I wonder if this is going to retire the car, actually. Matey Boy is in. JB's also in. So did I see that right? I thought both McLarens made contact there. JB's in. Matey Boy is in. They're both in. And this is strange. JB doesn't have damage. They don't have damage, either of them.
Ooh, that's going to be some double stacking, though, here at McLaren. As Matey Boy really gets held up because of that, but he's on the hard tire, so he will definitely go to the end. But let's have a look at the lead. Rackler is in the lead now of the race, but he can make the one-stop work, so Cassidy still needs to make like 10 seconds of ground.
He is. Rackler got disqualified, remember, in qualifying. And look where he is. He's in the lead of the race. Is he going to come out ahead of Edzak? I think he might. I'm on board with Jacko behind Robin. And these two are about to go at it seems, down in towards turn number 1. They're coming through the final corner now, deploying that DRS, and now, running down the straight. Has Jacko got enough pace to close in on Robin? Halfway down the straight, and straight answer is no. He's not deploying any ERS down the straight. There is Rackler, by the way, at the end of the pit lane. There is Edzak. He's behind Edzak, maybe even behind Charlie coming out the pits. In fact, he's going to be well ahead of Charlie coming out the pits. So Rackler rejoins in 6th position, which will turn, maybe, into net P3.
Well, I actually think that's net P1 because all the guys up front can't make it to the end on the medium tires. As Van Dungen has 6 seconds of penalties actually, as I did see another spinner in a McLaren. So Matey Boy made another mistake. He isn't really liking the hard tires.
Yeah, Matey Boy's dropped behind Oliver and Arno, I think, coming out the pit lane, and Jacko still right on the back of Robin. Bolo, by the way, saying he could have won the race. He could have won the race, and he is out of the race after that spin through the final corner. And what's more unfortunate for you is that was caught live on stream in front of everyone. So I'm sorry. Jacko's on the back of Robin though. P3 and 4. Arno and JB's having a good battle further down the field as well. They were coming down in towards turn 4, I think. But Jacko, can he fend his way through on Robin? The answer to that is probably no out of that final corner.
As the race leader was in the pit lane, Van Dungen, and he picked up another penalty for speeding in the pit lane. But let's have a look at Jacko. Jacko is really closing up now, and he's using. Ooh, and he stays behind for another lap.
If that was Jacko, when I was around here in FRL in the past, Rackler's going down the inside line of Edzak, doesn't get the move done, but he's there or thereabouts, and Rackler right on the back of Edzak, coming out through turn number 3, switches to the inside line. This will be bold and brave from Rackler. Edzak on the outside line. I think Rackler's got the momentum. Rackler's down the inside line, on the side of hards. Edzak nearly pushes him onto the grass and onto the curb, but out of the corner, Rackler's ahead. Rackler through, and he's into P4. Out on track. Really good stuff. Out on track. Cassidy leads Robin in 2nd. Jacko in 3rd. Robin, however, picks up another 3-second time penalty. Edzak, though, in 5th. And let's just speak about Ball Boy as well. Ball Boy is not entirely out of this. He's down in 8th position, but he's been a slow burner. Everyone else around him has either made a mistake or been into the pit lane, and he's in 8th position. I'm not saying he's going to win this, but he's certainly on for a good result.
Keep in mind though, he is already on 14 laps old medium tires, so he still needs to come in as well. But yeah, like I said, Rackler now in P4 on new set of hard tires without any penalties, and the guys up front still need to box.
The guys in front still need to box, and Rackler is probably in the best seat, to be honest, out of everyone in this race. JB and Arno have just been JB has just been overtaken by Arno further down the field for 12th and 13th. It is Cassidy who still leads the way. Robin in 2nd, Jacko in 3rd. One-stop strategy is possible, but is anyone going to try and risk it to the end and maybe pick up the P word? 8 letters, puncture.
Well, Jacko really needs to pit. Well, we could have done 15 laps, and then the tire was at 50%. So maybe Robin or Cassidy can stretch those medium really, really long. But they all need to be like Sergio Perez, saving tires mad.
Bo in the comment section, by the way, is saying he's loving the commentary, and you guys are so good at it. Thank you. This is a one-off. Don't get used to it. It's a one-off. I'm only here for 1 week and 1 week only, unless somebody's internet decides to die, and then I'm free on a Friday, on a Monday. But, however, I won't be because I'm racing in LOEF2 on a Monday, which is my first league race since FRL. That's how old it is.
Oh, great to hear that FRL was your last league race. But yeah, well, good luck for you. As Edzak does have a DRS, but he's way too far behind.
Yeah, 14% of ERS. Look at the deployment levels, though, that he has got compared to his energy saving levels. Just speaking about the ERS, actually, and this is a good pointer to anybody that is new to Formula 1. The ERS on the left-hand side, you see the percentage, that is how much they've got to use on this particular lap. So, in Edzak's case, as you've seen something, there's a spinner, Matey Boy, is
it? It's JB. Both McLarens having a tough time here on the hard tires in P13 and 14, so the last positions, and he's really slowing down. Maybe he wants to have a fight with his teammate or something, as Ruben pits for new mediums.
And he comes up behind Arno, and Arno's going to dive it down the inside line of Oliver. He thinks about it, but it doesn't get quite the move done. What I was saying is the ERS, and we'll use Arno as an example. He's got 43% of ERS, but look at the bars to the right-hand side of that, on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. His bar at the top, as JB retires from the session, he has had enough, and understandably so after that spin. Arno, on that top bar, has got the deployment levels at about 3/4, so he's still got 3/4 of the deployment this lap to use. The bottom half is for the energy saving as he goes into the corner, so that's literally what ERS is on this game. He's on the back of Oliver, Jacko and Edzak, by the way, into the pits.
Ooh, as Rackler picks up his first penalty, so that's not great because Cassidy still doesn't have a penalty, but Jacko indeed in for his second stop onto the medium tires, coming out behind Ballboy. Adzak's pits as well, so he's clear now. Behind his teammate as he outbreaks himself out of the pit lane.
Yeah, that's what I've just seen, and that just comes to show how cold the tyres actually are on the game when you're coming out of the pit lane, and Jacko has got his teammate ahead of him. But, knowing Ballboy, he's not going to make life a little bit... I think he's going to make life quite difficult for Jacko in behind. They're definitely not going to be teammates, is what I'm going to say here. But Arno is through on Oliver. Finally gets the move done. The Red Bull through on the AlphaTauri, so the two sister cars having a battle for 10th and 11th. Scar has left the session. We thank him, though, for attending, as will Michael F1, Biolo and JB, who have obviously the DNFs. Cassidy in from the lead, though, and a 3-second penalty for doing it, coming in towards turn 15, that was.
That's not great, as Robin stays out again. So he likes to go a lot longer, and Michelle
Van Dongen. That is a really strange place, and that's on the right-hand side. Oh my word!
Well, I don't know how
how's he ended up there.
Yeah, I don't know. He will have had a very big shunt though.
How's he ended up there? I can only imagine he's lost it on the exit. He's had a squirrel basically.
Ooh. As Geese almost did the exact same thing though. Well, I think he just went wide, touched the gravel part, and then lost control of the car because he maybe picked up the throttle on the gravel.
But what I don't understand is where is he he's basically ended up. If there wasn't a curb there and it was rallycross, he's ended up on the inside of the rallycross track. It's what has happened there, and that's where he's ended up. That is such a strange place to actually have your car. So I can only imagine he's caught the outside curb, or worse still, he's had some sort of setup failure either with a wheel or a pad.
Well,
here's Jacko.
We didn't...
Down the inside on Ballboy. Gets the move done. Easy.
Ballboy wants to do the switchback, but there's no space. Ooh, and he's going really close with his teammate. Ballboy should pit this lap, definitely. Or he maybe wants to stretch onto the soft tires, but yeah, I don't recommend that. He's losing a lot of time now as he, almost. On my screen he had a big moment, but I don't know.
Ballboy still doesn't come in.
As Robin stays out as well, so well maybe, like I said, these guys are maybe stretching to a new set of softs.
If they've got good tyre wear, I wouldn't be surprised if Robin goes to the end. 12 lap all mediums. He's got 11 laps, 23 lap all mediums. They're a stretch, but I've seen it done before.
Is he losing time though to Reckler? Yeah, he is slightly losing time.
Yeah, 3.1 seconds. He is. Robin might have to pit then.
And he has 6 seconds of penalties as well, so he is losing the race at this point.
Into the wall goes Ruben! Ruben goes into the wall. I'm not sure if there was contact maybe with Oliver. I came on board with that very late, so I didn't see what happened. But Ruben, out of the race, he's basically hit the left-hand side of the wall into the braking zone of turn 1. I can only imagine he's trying to go around the outside line. Oliver has then decided to either move across him or take the natural racing line, and Ruben's ended up in the wall.
Yeah, that's a really weird crash as well, though, as Matey Boy just rode past that. Yeah, well, look at Robin. He just lost a full second that lap to Reckler. As Cassidy sets the new fastest lap of the race. So Cassidy is on the charge now, as Jacko steals the fastest lap of the race and is only 4 seconds behind without a penalty.
He is only 4 seconds behind without a penalty, and I've got to be honest, this race is not over and done with in terms of what we've seen. Ballboy, by the way, still going on 20 lap all mediums. I just thought I'd say that. So, if it's possible for Ballboy to get 3 laps into the race, come into the pit lane, get 20 laps, it's possible for Robin to get to the end of the race from here.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, Arno on his 10-lap-old hard tires is setting new fastest laps for the race, so he's maybe finding his feet as well.
Geese and Oliver having a really good battle coming out of turns 1 and 2, and I think Geese has just outdone Oliver for chips there. Geese is through and he's into 9th. Is Oliver going to try and fight back? No.
He was looking down the inside though, but there was actually no space. As Geese is going wide on the grass on my screen, but kept his line. As Oliver outbreaks himself a bit there and gets a snap of oversteer as he loses terrain now.
Yeah, Guy's in 9th position, now pulling ahead of Oliver, and you can see how much of wear those mediums have actually got on that tyre. Robin, 1.7 seconds over Rackler. It's not impossible for him to get to the end of the race. It's going to be a real push, but if he fends off Rackler, he's got 6 seconds worth of penalties. He basically needs to either come into the pit lane, as Geezer spun coming through turn 12 and 13, turn 11 and 12. He spun the car and has gone round, so that is the end of that battle. Rackler, 1.7, 1.6, 1.5. It's the corners where he's catching up. It's the straight where Robin really helps out in terms of his setup. Rackler, what does Robin do? If you were Robin, would you go to the end of the race on currently 14 lap old hards? Will be 23 lap old hards by the end of the race?
Well, I think he already lost way too much ground on those old medium tires because he pits way too late, and now he lost a lot of time to Cassidy and Jacko, and he's in. Okay, well, I don't think that's the right strategy call at this point because he's more penalties than the guys behind as well. But Charlie needs to pit again as well, I think, as he is on 16 lap old medium tires now. But obviously he can try and go to the end because he has no penalties.
And he's got more of a buffer as Matey Ball is retired coming through turn 3. Yeah, he's got more of a buffer compared to what Robin did. Robin only had a second and a half. Charlie's got 2.5 seconds against Cassidy, who, albeit on 3 lap old mediums. Robin, by the way, has came out on a fresh set of softs, so watch out for him.
Look on board with Jacko though, where Matey Boy is, and he's right in the middle of the road.
Oh wow, he spun that through turn 3, I think, and the car has probably on the right hand side came back on track to the left, and that's why. So that's why he's there in the middle, probably because he lost it coming through turn 3 on the curb.
And as you can see, Robin is on the soft tires, so I'm curious what pace he can drive from now on, as Michel van Dingen left. Thanks for racing today.
He's just put
Charlie. Yeah.
I was going to say, Robin has just pulled 0.7 of a second on Ballboy. That's all I'm going to say.
Ballboy, though, still on 22 lap old medium tyres.
And he's under attack from Edzak. Down the inside line goes Edzak. Can he get the move done? Ballboy's still there on the inside line. He's still going to fight it off, but Edzak's through and much fresher tyres. Ballboy, if that's not a sign to come into the pit lane, then I don't know what is. Edzak is through on 4 lap all mediums. Ballboy on 22 lap all mediums. And Edzak is through and he's into 6th position. Ballboy has got to come in for a set of softs. And finally, he decides to. After he's been overtaken, he finally decides to come in. But it's not entirely bad because he's going to be behind Arno, maybe behind Oliver, but he's on a fresh set of softs and he'll gain positions.
Indeed, and he is fighting for P7 at best at this point. And if he will drop behind Arno on a fresh set of soft tires, he will definitely gain P7 again. So I think he just needs to settle as Gies picks up another penalty as Oliver has a big moment of oversteer. But Rackler gaining time on Charlie, well, that's actually pretty damn logical because Charlie is on 17 lap old mediums. But Cassidy needs to get past Charlie in order to get this race win.
Well, first thing he needs to do is get within DRS range. He's not even in DRS range yet. He's borderline on second at the minute. And Cassidy just needs to pull out that gap. I'm not sure if he's tyre saving to an extent. If I was Cassidy at this point, I'd be going hell for leather to try and get past Charlie. Get this DRS. Now that he's got it, he will get the DRS, I would imagine, this lap around. But he's not going to be close enough. So he's either going to end up one or two things. He's going to pass Charlie in the next 2 or 3 laps and get to the back of Rackler before the end, or he's going to be stuck behind Charlie for the end of this race.
Cassidy, though, now into the DRS ranges. All the braking boards are broken, I think, at the left-hand side. But Cassidy now 4 tenths behind Charlie, while Charlie is on way older tires. I think he will pip him here into the middle sector, actually.
Yeah, I think he will. He's on the back, but does he wait for the DRS coming through in towards turn 9 and 10? But, oh, does he get the move done now? Cassidy's really pushing on the back of Charlie. Charlie's not entirely losing time to Rackler either. It looks like he's just up the pace. And it's 8.4 seconds, and Rackler has just decreased his pace because he feels that he's got a comfortable margin. Here though comes Cassidy on the outside, now to the inside line, right in the slipstream, down the inside line he goes, and Cassidy is through? I'm about to say, is he through? Charlie on the inside line? No, Cassidy's through. Never are you going to get side by side through turn 12, and Cassidy is through and he's into second.
As Gies actually gets the fastest lap of the race, and Robin can't make it really on those soft tires. He isn't really closing down on Jacko, and he didn't set in the fastest lap of the race. I was expecting a lot more from the Haas driver.
Yeah, Robin, I think it's been negated, to be honest, by Jacko's tyres and Edzak's tyres in behind him. They're both on a fresh set of mediums. Robin's on a set of softs, but he's not gaining the time. Charlie, by the way, right on the back of Cassidy down in towards turn 1. I thought he was going to get the move done there, but Robin's not closing in. And I'll say this now, he's been negated, essentially, by the tyres. The tyres only last 4 or 5 laps before they really go off the cliff around here in Spain. Jacko's tyres are probably the same level as Robin's behind, and that is why Jacko's in 4th, and Robin's 5th, and Oliver's spun.
Sorry to interrupt you, but Oliver, our poor sitter, into the pit lane now as he spun around the final corner. I hope he doesn't retire the car, just so we have 10 finishers. So if you're listening, just go on to the new set of soft tires.
I know Oliver too well. He will go in for a set of softs, set the fastest lap of the race. He'll be behind Gies, but Oliver is going to be behind Gies. He's on a fresher set than him, and he'll be going for that fastest lap point, and he's going to be in much, much better clear air. Rackler, only at through the final corner. Look at the gap Cassidy's pulling. That gap was 8 seconds the last time I looked. It's 6.4 now.
He is doing 20.5 lap times and Cassidy is doing 18.7, so he is about 2 seconds a lap quicker, so I think this will be like, he will catch him at the end of the race.
And they're both on 3 seconds worth of time penalties, remember, so Cassidy needs to get onto the back of Rackler, but then he needs to overtake him and gap 3 seconds to the back of Rackler, because he will not get the win if, and only if, he gets past Rackler and then pulls out that 3 seconds. He will only get the win if he does that. Bulbo, by the way, up to 7th. Arno is into the pit lane to go for fastest lap attempt. He's going to be well ahead of Gies, who's coming through turns 11 and 12. But Arno into the pit lane in 8th position. It's got a little bit stale, this race. Like an old wine or a cheese. It's gone very stale. Rackler leads the way, Cassidy 2nd, Charlie in 3rd. Charlie losing time to the back of Cassidy, and you've seen them in Gies.
Gies spun again as he's now in front of the leaders, but Oliver picks up another penalty as Rackler is really losing ground here.
Gies has got to be careful. He does not want to do what he did earlier on in the race. Oliver is through, but Gies, is he going to try and attack back down and towards turn 1? No, Oliver's through and he's into 9th position. Gies, I think, should just maybe either back off this or try and get a bit of clear air, go for the fastest lap. But he runs wide, and that is what is going to cost him to the gap to Oliver.
Let's just go back to the fight at the lead though, as Rackler is lapping better lap times now, lost 7 tenths of a second in the last lap, but look at his ERS. I think he's already preparing for an attack if Cassidy is closing down at the end of the race, because he's saving up 50% of ERS.
He is. Cassidy's got 30%, and he's just used up a little bit of ERS actually coming out of turn 6 in towards 7 and 8. But Cassidy, just got to be careful with ERS usage. He doesn't want to use too much. But at this current rate, Cassidy's not going to be close enough to Rackler before the end of the race. 4.9 seconds. He's basically got to catch, if you think about it, a second and a half from this point onwards only to get onto the back of Rackler. But then even then, he's got to get another 3 seconds on top of that.
No, because Cassidy has 3 seconds of penalty as well. So they're equal penalties.
Oh, this is why I failed maths, by the way, if you're tuning into FRL F3. Yeah, Cassidy, 4.4 seconds. He's gained a second and a half, I think, that lap. So he's done exactly what he needs to do. He now needs to gain, on this lap, 1.7 seconds. 1.7 seconds will take him to 2.3. And then he's got to get an extra, second to get within DRS towards the final lap of the race. This is not over and done with by any stretch of the imagination.
As Charlie is keeping up fairly decent though on 22 lap old medium tires. But Jacko is coming for him because he is on way newer tires, but they both don't have any penalties. So maybe if Cassidy and Reckler are going into a fight and they lose a lot of ground, these two can maybe make some profit because they don't have any penalties.
I've just tuned into F4, by the way, and I've seen how many drivers are still going. There's 4. And they're on lap 20 out of 33. So I'm assuming they've had some sort of glitch in F4. There was 14 drivers that started. There's 10 DNF'd. And there's 7 DNF'd here in Spain, in F3. All I'm going to say to that is, don't DNF. Don't catch the curb. You know better.
And Cassidy won only 8/10 on this lap, so that's not enough. He's 3.5 seconds behind.
Jacko's on the back of Charlie. Here he goes to the inside line. Robin has crashed through the final corner. As that is him now out of the race, but Jacko down the inside line in the Alpine gets the move done, and Charlie's tyres are really going. And has he just picked up a puncture? I thought he picked up a puncture on his rear left, but he hasn't. But look at how much blistering he's got on the rear right. You can see on board with him how much those tyres are really beginning to wear. There's a big blister going through the front right as well. Do not be surprised if you see Charlie without a puncture on the final lap of the race.
He is going to stretch the tires though, and I will be amazed if he can make the one-stop work from soft to medium. But Robin just crashed out up like at the finish straight.
Yeah.
As Cassidy is Geese! Oh, and you were on board with that.
Into the wall he goes. He's going to be lapped as well if he's not careful, because there is Rackler. Gap 2.4 seconds.
And he made a little mistake there, as the hard tires, he's really feeling the wear.
He's just been held up 0.4 of a second by Cassidy as well. It's not going to be enough, but the hard really beginning to lose their touch, it seems. Cassidy, onto the final lap we go. It's Rackler who leads. I think Rackler's got this. 2.3 seconds over Cassidy. It's Jacko who you've got to really watch out for. Jacko's got pace. He's in third. He's pulled away from Charlie. Watch out for him on this final lap. Don't be surprised if he gets within 3 seconds, maybe a Cassidy, before the end. But who knows what will happen in the final few kilometres of this race.
If these two somehow pick up both a penalty and Jack...
Oh my god, that was dangerous from Geet. He ran wide onto the gravel, but that rejoin, not on. Rackler, I think, is going to win this though.
I think so as well, but if somehow both of them pick up a penalty in the last sector, Jacko is still on for the win here if he can close up 0.3 of a second, and I think he knows it, as he's pushing like mad.
He is 10%. Cassidy has got on that ERS. Rackler has got 35%. He may as well just use it up now. Rackler is coming in towards the final couple of corners here in Spain. Through 13, in towards the chicane at 14 and 15. And Rackler is going to do it. He's low on fuel, but I don't think he should be concerned. Rackler around the final corner. The Dutchman is going to take the win. It's Rackler who wins in Spain. 0.6 of a second. And if that was not the final lap, Cassidy would have got him, I think. Jacko finishes in third, and he's only 2 seconds off because he picked up no penalties. Charlie across the line in fourth. It's Edzak across the line in fifth. Ballboy, by the way, he was 14th. He was stone dead last at one point, and he's now 6th. Purely because everyone's DNF around him, but he's going to be 6th.
Charlie, who made the one-stop work, congrats to him, but a much bigger congrats to Rackler for making the last to first actually work. He came from a disqualification in qualifying to the first position in the race.
That's unbelievable. He got disqualified in qualifying. And now he's on the top step of the podium. I can't wait until we hopefully get interviews with these guys. Did I get added to the chat, by the way?
Yes, I did. I have added you to the chat.
Fantastic. I'll join there in a few moments' time. Oliver's coming through the final couple of corners. Geezer's left the session. His car's already crossed the line, so that is probably why. Oliver, though, is through the final corner. He had a spin last lap around. He now comes across the line in what has been a very disappointing race, I think, from his perspective. Had good pace in qualifying, didn't put that into the race, and surely he'll work on the overall package as we go in towards round 1 of the season next week. But, driver of the day, what about the in-game fans? Rackler deserves it.
Yeah, definitely. In my opinion, he was the driver of the day as well.
Definitely for me as well. And yeah, Rackler to the top step of the podium. A shoddy Gary Donegan lookalike once again. And if you don't know who Gary Donegan is, just look at his photo on my Twitter and you'll see the stock similarities between that AI that Rackler is running and him. That's all I'm saying.
Wow, what an exciting race though. We have seen some clean overtakes, not some dirty moves as well, but yeah, these things happen. Hopefully we can get them out of the drivers, but they still need to get into the rhythm, but what a race.
Yeah, what a race indeed, and there's Rackler to the top step of the podium. But one more lap, and it could have been a whole different story. Rackler, by the way, also did the one stop from a set of mediums onto a set of hards. So good stuff from him. He takes the win from Cassidy in second. Jacko in third, ever consistent in F3. Charlie across the line in fourth, with Edzak in fifth. Bullboy in sixth, with Ono in seventh, Oliver in eighth, Geese across the line in ninth, did finish. Robin is counted within the result. He DNF'd though with 3 laps down. Matey Boy, Ruben, Michelle Van Dongen, JB, Biolo, Michael F1 and Scar all DNFing out of the race. It is Rackler who takes the win. Cassidy second, Jacko in third. I'm going to make my way, I think, into the interview room and see who wants to be interviewed. I know Bullboy's going to be there for sure.
I'll join you as well.
Fantastic. I will see you there. I'm just going to transition over to that now. If my game doesn't freeze, that would be fantastic. Just going to leave the party. Macho is going to hopefully set that up in the meantime. And my PS4 has been very, very slow, so you'll have to bear with just a couple of moments. Macho has set up that party, which I can say. And here we are. And I'm also here. And we'll wait. I'll get my party up on my iPad to see who was actually joined, and then I can see in terms of the order of everyone who was finished and take you in that order. And just waiting for the guys to join. I think we've only got a couple of people in at the moment. We may as well wait a minute or two, I think, for everyone to join if they are going to join for the interviews. Macho, I'll come across to you though. A fantastic race, some really good overtaking, but overshadowed by a few moments at a track that might be just very questionable.
Yeah, indeed, some questionable moves from well some hard drivers, but well, I'm not going to name to give any names, but still an amazing race and well a surprising winner for me from last to first.
Yeah, of course, that being Rackler, and don't think Rackler is here at the minute. I could see actually that he has got a mic at least, is what I can say. I'm not sure if he's here. I'm not sure actually if my game has glitched. My lobby certainly has. I'm just going to leave the session, but I'm going to see who's in the party and we'll start taking the interviews from there. So, in the party, at the moment, I believe we have Charlie, who was the highest place finisher? No, it wasn't. It was Jacko, wasn't it?
No, Jacko.
It was Jacko. Goodness me. I'm sorry, Jacko. I'm really sorry. A P3 for you out on track. You're getting very, very canny with these P3s, I think, out on track. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, the quality... The thing is, I've come into the season knowing my quality is nowhere near as good as my race pace. I've got to work on that, because if I do, I'm confident I can, I'm just making it hard for me at the moment. If I get a good quality all the time, then I'll constantly be up there. Yeah, P3, I'm gutted I didn't get P2, to be honest. I do not know how Rackler and even Charlie, who made that one stop work, I don't have a clue, because my tyres on the first stint, and like 8 laps in, were just gone. But then they did come back to me, so I don't know if the tyres had sort of a second wind or something. But I just did what Jeff told me to do a 2-stop. Got a podium in the end, had a good little battle with Charlie at the end, but he was on 20 plus lap medium, so it was relatively straightforward. But yeah, credit to Rackler and Charlie for making a 1-stop work.
Yeah, fantastic result from you, though, from your perspective, finishing in P3. Talk us through that race, because it was a bit of a mixed picture, to be honest. Obviously, Cassidy was catching Rackler towards the end of the race. Did you feel like you had the pace later on to try and challenge the top 2 if they were closer?
Oh yeah, my pace was, like, it was unreal. I thought it was one stage with about 7-8 laps to go. I thought I could have won the race, because I think Cassidy was 4 seconds up the road, but he picked up a 3-second penalty. And my pace was, I was just flying. I was setting a couple of fastest laps. Yeah, man, but then I don't know. I just thought that Rackler and Charlie were going to pit, so I'd just be in P2, and it would just be me and Cassidy to fight for the win. It just didn't turn out like that, and all credit to them.
It didn't turn out like that, but it's still a podium in the second pre-season race is very good going from you. Macho, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
Macho!
If he's there. Hope he hasn't
I'm here.
bailed out on me now.
No. Well, I don't have any questions, to be honest, but I would just want to congratulate you on the podium, mate.
Well, yeah, I'm obviously disappointed I didn't potentially win the race, but yeah, I suppose a podium, I can't complain. My race pace this season is going to be very good and a lot better than my quali, so as long as I work on my qualifying, then hopefully I'll be fighting for the championship.
Yeah, and obviously we've got 2 more weeks to go. Sorry, Macho, I think you were going to come in there.
No, I did want to say, like, I think you will definitely be up there on the championship fight, because racing without any penalties and just clean overtaking and a lot of speed will get you there.
Yeah, credit to Bulba as well for letting me through when I just pitted, because I was flying, and if he's my teammate next season, then that's the sort of things what we need to do, which, yeah, so credit to Bulba for that.
Yeah, my final question to you, though. Obviously, we've got a little bit of a break before the new season. We've got a 2-week break now between Bahrain, with all the driver placements and everything to come. Going into the first round of the season, how do you think you're going to get on?
Well, Bahrain is probably one of my worst tracks. As what happened, well, last week was a bit different because I had a couple of crashes, but I think Bahrain is, I know it's going to be first race, but not, I don't know the word, not damage limitation, but I won't finish as high up as I will do, for example, around Spain or Belgium, Italy, those sort of races. So, yeah, I hope to try and get a podium. I don't think the race win will be on the cards. But yeah, top 5, well, podium was what I'll sort of be aiming for, so if I can collect a podium, that'll be alright. Yeah,
it should be good going for you. Obviously, it's my last commentary here in F3, coming in for one night and one night only, but what I will say is go and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, cheers boys, cheers for the commentary.
Very welcome indeed. And we'll move on now to FRL Charlie, my regular co-commentator in FRL F1, finishing P4 here tonight. And Charlie, you had the pace in most of that race to try and challenge the top 3. Talk us through that.
Yeah, the qualifying didn't go so well. I was kind of disappointed with that. But the race definitely changed quite a bit. The start was absolutely horrible. But me and Rackler, though, came together on lap 5, though, I believe. But he was coming across everyone quite a lot on that lap, to be honest. So really, he shouldn't have been coming across all like that, and he could have spun himself out there, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm surprised that I managed to make those mediums last like 25 laps, I believe, and I was open for that podium, but Jacko was just too quick for me because the left front was like extremely dying. It was on 85%. and I was open for it, but didn't quite get there in the end. But I'll happily take P4 considering how I would usually perform in Spain.
Yeah, P4 is a really good result from you, from your perspective, certainly. Talk us through that Rackler incident, though. That was lap 5. We caught it on the stream, and I said in commentary, Rackler looked like it moved across on you. Was that from your perspective as well?
Yeah, he definitely came across me, because when I was behind him and the other drivers, he was coming across quite a few people, and to be honest, I might report that incident, to be honest, because that's not how I want to race him, to be honest.
Yeah, I would, to be honest, because obviously any incidents that go to the stewards will get reported, they'll have a look into it. I would report any sort of incident. That goes for everyone, to be honest, in any division here in FRL. If you want to make the standards of racing clean, you've got to report the incidents, and we've got to get drivers having a slap wrist and maybe some penalty points going their way as well. Macho, any questions for Charlie?
Well, not really. I just want to congratulate him making the one-stop work as well from soft to medium. Well, really good performance. Finishing without any penalties as well. It's very clean, and we have seen some good racing for you.
Thank you.
And final question from me, obviously. Bahrain 2 weeks' time. How do you think you're going to get on?
I mean, Bahrain has not been one of my best tracks, to be honest, on the new game, because of course, me and Jacko came together there last week, and then I had to retire because it just didn't work out well. Then I had to retire in another league at Bahrain, so hopefully I don't make it 3 in a row here.
I'm expecting, obviously if you get in retirement, I'm expecting the P1 maybe next week in F3, but who knows what is going to come your way. But go and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, I will.
And moving on, I believe, we have Ballboy next, finishing in P6. And Ballboy, great drive from you out on track in the Alpine. Talk us through it.
Yeah, no, today was a bit of a shame because, unfortunately, my race kind of got destroyed at the very beginning with Scar just going left for some reason.
I think his brother might be in his bedroom, as per usual.
Yeah, no, I'm back. Yeah, so it was Scar, I don't know what he was doing, it's right off the start, like 5 seconds after lights out. He just moved to the left and then just broke right in front of me, and that was me, so I had to pit and change my front wing, so it was a bit of a boring race after that, just, yeah, battling against nobody really, so... But I guess the good thing is it's happened in pre-season. So that's all of my crashes, bad luck out of the way in the past 2 pre-season races, so hopefully nothing will happen now for the rest of for the whole season now, and hopefully I can actually have some good races, you know, especially next weekend for the first race of the official season.
Yeah, obviously, talk us through that incident with Scar. I was, 5 seconds, I think, into the race. We saw a little bit of contact then in towards turn 1. Talk us through it, though, from your perspective.
Well, yeah, the lights went out, I kept it straight, and then Scar just moved over to the left and just broke. I don't understand, really, because you don't really move around like that well, you can move around like that on the start, but to brake as well and to slow down, I had no time to react whatsoever, so I think without that I could have, I don't know, yeah, maybe a podium could have been on the cards, or yeah, something like that, so that's unfortunate, but I hope that that won't happen again, hopefully.
I don't think it will. Obviously, standards of driving have got to be improved. I know in F3, I think the driving certainly has got to be improved from tonight, going into 2 weeks' time in Bahrain. But, Macho, any questions for Ballboy?
No, I don't have any questions. The thing is, what I want to add is, though, that Scar had some wheel problems, so yeah, it wasn't intentional, and, well, his standard of racing is really high, so, I mean, definitely that will not happen, and, well, your podium or win even will come soon. But my question was, though, is how are you looking forward to next season?
I'm excited. I hope, you know, that I can battle for top 5s and, you know, positions like that, and have good clean racing. It's going to be amazing, so Yeah, just looking forward to the first race and see how the season goes.
I'm looking forward to it as well, and definitely with your consistent racing without picking up any penalties, you will get there.
Thank you. Thanks for the stream as well, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you for driving today.
And we'll see, obviously, if Ballboy can make it a 3-time FRL F1 champion and 1-time FRL F3 champion. Sorry, I had to throw that shade in.
Of course.
Swiftly moving on before he berates me, it is Mr. FRL Oliver, I think, who is next up in the interview room. And Oliver, very disappointing race from your perspective. Qualified on pole, finished in P8, had a lot of spins out on track. Talk us through it.
The only thing I can just say is just a massive rough day at the office. I'm just glad that, although I can confirm who my teammate is, Charlie, he's done a brilliant job. I've got to put my hands down. Doing that one stopper, just want to throw that out of the question, like, amazing job. So at least I do know that even if he ain't got the pace, he has got the brains to focus on it. Even though I had the pace at qualifying, it was a bit of a, like, it was really high, but I was still shaking after I got that pole position. And I think what happened was the nerves kicked in, and when I got off the start, I even know, I said, right, don't bottle the start, and I bottled it already. And with Robin trying to defend the inside and then he defend the second corner, I just have to cut the corner, because if not, it was most likely me pushing him on the gravel. I was like, no, I'll think better of it, only if the FIA just be nice and don't give me a penalty. Well, it was fair, they didn't. But I think halfway through, I know I was on the charge, so I thought what I'll do is I'll come in the pits, get some fresh rubber, and see if I can jump the gun on the guys. Cassidy thought better of it. He stayed out a lap longer. He got the jump on me, so I thought, damn it. Hopefully, that's not the right term. I thought, darn, maybe Robin could probably be my next grab. Nope, he went pit in lap 8, and he also jumped the gun on me, so I thought, right, the only thing I have to do is push and try my best to just get ahead of the lap, like the back markers. And then, out of nowhere, I don't know how, but if you think ghosts are scary in real life, just be scared of the AI ghosts, because I don't know how, but one of the ghosts just managed to make me lose my front wing and also my side pod. And just taking notes that once you lose your side pod, there is definitely no way you're going to be able to catch up. So I was just limping home with a car, what was basically undrivable at that point, and then I just kept spinning and spinning. But like Schumacher say, first you have to finish, and that's the only goal I thought. Even though I thought I could try my best to get into the top 3, having that side pod damage and that end plate by the ghosts of Aaron, I believe, it was just unfortunate. It really was. But although it came out a negative, I can still think positive that I still got pole position, where I thought, okay, I don't think pole position was in my reach, but when I was gaining through the most horrifying sector 3, I really thought, right, I won't be able to get it. But around the final corner, I just got pole, and I just screamed in like happiness. And if I have to take it to consideration, that pole position, although it may be my first pole ever since I came back onto a Formula 1 league, I've got to take that to a high note and say, right, if I can get pole, I can definitely get a race win.
Yeah, and you did obviously get a pole position out on track, which was fantastic. Obviously, in the race, things didn't go according to plan, but if you were to rerun that race again, which we're not, by the way, we're not going to rerun that race again, how would you feel doing that again without some of the spins, without that side pod damage especially, because it was a bit like Verstappen, I'm guessing, with barge board damage on Sunday.
Yeah, it definitely did felt like that, and although it's great that EA has and Codemasters has added that feature, it is quite hard because every time I kept going round the corners, I kept locking up. Then I started doing a spin. I was like, nope, shift a second, locked up, and I was like, right, this is a car I drive, literally a drivable car. It was quite hard work, but at the end of the day, if I could restart the race again, I definitely think that hopefully the ghosting can just be more fair, because even though the driver in front of me was ghosted, I don't know how I still got that damage. I just think it just came down to a luck, just being unlucky. Same with Sebastian Vettel's disqualification. It was unlucky, and I guess I just got the unlucky space, unfortunately. But I just carried down, focused on, and I thought, right, if I can just get in the points or just get in the top 10, that's the main goal.
Yeah, and you did get in the top 10, and I'm sure there'll be things to improve, of course, as you go along into the season. Macho, any questions?
Yeah, I can't remember like what you told the whole story, but what exactly happened with, I think it was Edsex, because you made a second stop and you suddenly were P13 or something, and we didn't exactly know what happened.
Yeah, that was the front wing and side pod damage. That was the front wing side pod damage, and it was really hard to get the nose in. Even though the damage was like it was on green but on semi-green, even though I probably had a little damage, it still ruined my race and cost me.
Yeah, I think we were on board with you and we literally saw you understeering every single corner, and I think I told James that I thought you had the sidepod damage, but there's the confirmation from you. But still a very good race. We've seen some clean overtakings, and well, congrats on the pole at least.
Yeah, that's the main bit. That's the main key factor. If I can get a pole, I can definitely feel like I can get a top 3.
Yeah, and obviously looking ahead, of course, into Bahrain not next week, 2 weeks' time. How do you think you're going to get on?
I think Bahrain is not my strongest track, like everyone has said. So, but bear in mind, I still remember that pre-season in Bahrain, and after the third sector, I spun into the barrier and started from the back of the grid and got P8. I feel comfortable, just feel comfortable. So I just need to keep that momentum in, focus really hard, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I'll give you a pre-warning, everyone, for FRL in 2 weeks' time. Don't catch the curb at turn 12. Spins you like mad. That's all I'm saying. Thank you very much, though, Oliver. We'll move on swiftly to Michael F1, who obviously DNF'd out of the race very early on, and obviously got caught up in a ridiculous incident, if I've got to be honest, with Geese. But talk us through your race up until that point.
Well, I thought I was in an okay position with the fresher tyres in 11th. Messed up in qualifying by cutting the inside of pit too much in turn 2, which made me go wide to have the lap deleted. And out of nowhere I had an error. So when that happened, I thought everyone had an error, but it turns out it was just me. And when I rejoined, I was in the back of the grid, so it was just a recovery drive for me. And when I joined, the game the game didn't feel right. It felt like it was like, you know, like it was like racing like a 2D race. It didn't felt quite smooth. But I still managed to keep in the track. I still managed to, well, not crash into anyone. And then somehow I managed to get the fastest lap near the end of those tyres, which that gave me a bit of confidence because the pace is there. I just need to get it together around the lap. And then, a couple of seconds later, I got pretty much taken out by a Haas. I don't know what he was doing, and I don't know what the rules are when you're behind another car. I don't know if it's 1 move or 2 moves, but I was pretty much half a nose behind him to make him stay still. And he looked like he was going back on the racing line, so I followed him, and then he came back towards the right hand side of the track. So yeah, that ended my race pretty much.
Yeah, and just talk us through that incident from your perspective, certainly, because we caught it on the stream. I'll tell you that now. We caught it on the stream, and I immediately said, I don't know what he was doing. And I'm sure you're probably in the same boat, and you must have been so frustrated because of that incident happening, especially down a straight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when I had the error, the game was just a bit technical, let's just say, for me, because every time I get near a car, the cars were just lagging a bit, so I knew it was on my area. But it wasn't lagging like to put me in a wall. And like I said, when I got past, when I was right behind the Haas, actually, he made his move, which is fair enough. But he left the gap in the insides, and I went for it. And obviously, he went back on the racing line, I followed him, and he literally just came across. And just bit me into the wall. And when I left him a little comment on Discord, he was like, "Did I hit you?" Which, I mean, I don't know how you can be that, like, bizarre.
I'm just shaking my head at that comment. It's just ultimate driver excuse. It's what I'm thinking, but I should not really say because I know what happened last time. I've been critical to drivers in the past. But moving on, Macho, any questions from?
Yeah, do you think you had more in the tank in the qualifying? Because you qualified P11 and you started on the soft tires, but eventually the guys behind you who did the medium to hard strategy won the race. Do you maybe think you made a mistake choosing the soft tire?
I think when I was watching the race back, yeah, it was a little bit of a mistake. Because the difference between tyre life and tyres that are dying are massive, especially in Bahrain. So I thought I did make the right decision. I think it still was pretty much an okay decision by looking at my teammate's pace, because he made the 2-stop and he was pretty much a second behind Rackler. But yeah, it's just the way it is, but that's what Prix season's there for, so you can learn about it.
That is indeed. And how are you looking forward to next season? Of course, winning the last race in Bahrain, and we are on to Bahrain again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping this will be the season that I've been waiting for, which a lot of other drivers compete in, and I can't really put a finger on it who will be competing. I mean, in the last 2 weeks, I think probably the top 10 or the top 14 drivers were in the second of each other in qualifying alone. So that shows how close and probably competitive this league is. So I'm looking forward for a good season battle with these lot.
Good to hear from you, and thank you for driving today. Yeah, and enjoy your week break. And yeah, well, I think commiserations on today's result.
Yeah, thank you. Wish could have been better, but you can't be a driver's excuse.
Yeah, it'll get better next week. I know it'll get better. Well, not next week. 2 weeks' time. You know what I mean. But that is the end here tonight for FRL, and it's been an absolute privilege to bring in the action, of course, for F3 here tonight. If you are wanting more action, of course, F1 and F2, and don't worry, you're not going to get sick of me. I'm going to be back tomorrow night for FRL F1, alongside URL Nick, who's going to be commentating alongside me in the commentary box, and FRL F2, also live, same time, same place, 7 PM UK time. Please tune in and watch the action out on track, whether it's F1, whether it's F2. Macho, I appreciate you having me in the commentary box. Thank you so much for bringing me in to this wonderful F3. Great racing, and hopefully side of things to come for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you for commentating as well and stepping in at the latest moment we could have asked you, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there was a shortage of commentators, and that's why they had to rope me in last time, literally last second. So I'm glad to be here, and thank you, Macho, of course, for having me. And thank you to all the drivers for competing, and well done, of course, to our top 3 of Cassidy, of Rackler, and of Jacko. Nearly forgot your name, Jacko. I apologise, but that's the end. I'm gonna end the stream here before I get ridiculed right at the end. So thank you so much for watching FRL F3. Of course, FRL F1 and 2 tomorrow night. Tune in for that. But for myself and Macho, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.